Yeah, so we switched to clock in. Used to be manual, time cards.
Oh, wow.
And then when we I was trying to text, I'm not gonna get this. So now, instead of being on the radio, the dispatcher having to write down.
Cold here.
Keep track of every little thing.
Oh, wow.
Building, you got to be within the building.
Any plans this weekend?
I don't know yet. We're still up in the air. I got too much stuff to do today. We'll see how I get done.
That's awesome.
Tonight.
Hmm?
Got plenty of vote.
I'm
Oh,
thinking about
man.
taking my kids somewhere, just
That was on the range.
away from the house. But where do you go?
Go down to Arkansas, go Franklin or something.
We make it look damn late. We got a camper
That's
down there.
awesome.
So
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
yeah, I don't know.
Keeps track of things better.
Mm.
Just stay away from town because it's.
Stay
And leave your phone
Well,
in the
from
car.
Grove, yeah. No, not this town. Just say if we go.
Oh, any town, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we did.
That's what I'm saying. If we go to the lake, I'm not going. We're not going to go down.
We didn't stop anywhere. We just went straight to the lake. Got the
Because you ever been social distancing with kids and fishing poles? Got a big crankbait on the end. You're 6
Yeah.
foot. You're too close.
You're always doing this.
Last 2 weeks, all the camping spots at Farlington have been full, man.
We went to Stockton last week and you couldn't get in. It was that bad.
I didn't see. I didn't realize they were open. I thought somebody said they weren't going because it was closed. They probably weren't going because they couldn't get a spot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it was full.
all right. We're past due, I guess.
Yeah.
Call the meeting of the Crawford County Commission to order February 1st, 2020. We've already done the flag salute, so move on. Have you had a chance to look over the previous meeting minutes? Any corrections?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
Aye. Let's see, signing the motions.
And we had 4 motions from the last meeting. First motion is 20-190, that the consent agenda be approved.
Thank you.
The next motion is 20-191, to approve the RJA fiscal year 21 comprehensive plan, fiscal year 21 to fiscal year 23 reinvestment in JCAB evidence-based program fund grants, and authorize the chairman to sign. The next motion is 20-192, to approve the scope of services, responsibility of client, and payment provisions from Cyclone Engineering LLC and the KDOT Form 1302 project programming request on the South 260th HRRR project. The last motion is 20-193, to recess this open session and go into a closed executive session for a period of not more than 15 minutes to discuss emergency management, non-elected personnel, and to include the Board of County Commissioners and County Councilor Jim Emerson, and to reconvene by 11:22 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donald.
Okay. So I guess to start this, if we want to, Rebecca.
Anything new, Rebecca?
An hour ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, a little bit, but I didn't really talk about yet. I did make those adjustments to the order on who should be contacted if there are questions for businesses. I don't know if I need to read through it again, or,
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
for anyone that didn't watch the
Yeah.
work session, they need to realize that it's available for them to watch.
yeah,
And
and
they-
this will be posted on the website, I guess,
this will
once we
be-
get it signed. So it's on the last page, I added that individual businesses not on the order should contact the Crawford County Health Department for further guidance at the following phone number, and then I've also put my email on there. I would rather they just send me the email directly, it just saves a lot of back and forth between
That's fine.
different people, and it gets confusing,
Right.
and it would just be probably beneficial. But we do have, I guess, have to make a motion to rescind, Jim, the previous order we had.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, well, I don't remember the date on
Do you
it.
have
I
the
have it
number on
right
it?
Is there a
here.
number?
It, did it have it? I don't know what the number of it
Probably
was.
that number.
I don't think it had a number, but it has a date. So it was on, it was long, wasn't it?
That's all right. You
Anyway.
just make a motion to rescind. Mr. Chairman, I
Yeah.
move that we rescind the stay-at-home.
No, it wasn't, whatever, it wasn't a stay-at-home order.
It was a
It was, and it also had essential it was stay-at-home movement restriction order.
Yeah.
stay-at-home.
Uh-huh, that's how we labeled it.
Mr. Chairman, I so move that we rescind.
Second.
All right.
Okay. So then if everyone's happy with our order that would take effect May 4th, then we would need to,
Sorry to interrupt.
go ahead. No, you're
Just to
fine.
clarify
Go
to
ahead.
people that, because there's a lot of confusion here, I'd say if you're looking from the outside and you haven't been swimming in this stuff.
Uh-huh, sure.
This is really just continuation of the governor's new order. And there are some differences between that, interpretations, if you want to say that, and really trying to work with people to best benefit their business to be able to open. Am I fair to say that?
Yeah, I think so. Uh-huh.
So if someone reads this and thinks we're not making up rules, we're just passing on what the governor's put
Right.
there and try to put some clarification on it versus
Yeah, actually,
you interpreting it
I
yourself.
like that word, clarification, because, there are still vague things that people might have questions on, and this coincides with the governor's order, so,
Right.
yeah.
Just to clarify, because I know there's some people that think we're making these orders and we're just.
Well, and a lot of
trying
the
to
things in
clarify.
ours is just our recommendations as well, you
Right.
know.
Which is
Prudent recommendations.
common sense
Common sense
recommendations.
recommendations that, we really want people to, we have very little in here that's more restrictive than the governor's order,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Well, I guess you need a motion to,
Yeah,
I'll make a motion, we accept this reference list of social distancing and such for the event.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Aye.
and then I just put for the chair to sign,
Okay.
and if you just want to
Authorizing
sign one
these.
copy, I just need one, and then I'll sign, and then we can make copies for whoever would like one. And also between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, I've already gotten some questions about practices, like for ball and things.
Right?
So I feel like the governor's order does list out now, on sports, she just puts, trying to think of the word, tournaments. She puts tournaments down, but it doesn't specifically recommend whether you should or should not practice. So under community events, if someone wants to organize an event, they have to follow what she's got listed for community events, which is 10 or less, social distancing. So I just don't know that we need to put anything else forth on practices. If somebody I don't know if ball fields will even be open, city-owned ball fields. I don't
Right.
know what cities are doing with that, if they're gonna be opening those things. Parks are open. If somebody wants to go play ball with a couple kids in a park, I don't think that needs to be highly regulated. The recommendation is out there to follow any events 10 or less in the governor's order and maintain social distancing, so. Any thoughts on that? I mean, I'm comfortable with people following the governor's order on things like that. Now, she does specifically state no tournaments.
Right. I agree.
Okay. I think it's great if kids want to go out to the park and play ball.
Right.
You know, socially distance, wash your hands, make sure you're not sick. Just follow those common sense rules. So I just wanted to make sure and address that because I think there are some people watching
Yeah,
that
because
have
the organized
questions.
sports facilities, I don't
Right.
even, I don't even know
Those
what
are
that.
facilities. Yeah, and it doesnn't say,
So what do you interpret that to be?
a facility to me is a building.
Gymnasium.
Right. Right. And-
Probably like that world-class center out there on the highway.
Right.
Defined area.
Yeah, and it's important to remember too that these are statewide orders, so many large
Right.
cities have
Right.
large venues, which
Right.
we have a university that has an organized sporting facility. You know, we have indoor basketball and, so I interpret it to mean a facility or a building where you would have sporting events, maybe like an indoor track or an indoor
Okay.
basketball. I don't interpret it to mean that people can't, if they want to have a few kids playing ball, even, they can call it whatever they want, but it's not a tournament, it's not
Right.
indoors, you know, it's, yeah, so I don't have a problem with people want to do that.
Okay.
We just,
If you're opening the park, baseball field would be like a park. It's an outside venue, you just can't use bleachers, that type of.
Right.
well, and I think too, it'll be up to the cities what they're going to do with their ball fields, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of places you can play ball. Just be safe. We want people just to be safe, you know?
That's it.
Wear a mask. If it's 110, don't wear a mask, but stay away from one another. We don't want anybody passing out. So there is a new, I did not discuss it, there's a new travel quarantine from KDHE. It came out yesterday. It removes some states and it adds some. So I'm just going to list the states that are now, if you return to Kansas, which Crawford County is included in Kansas, if you return to Crawford County, Kansas, you will need to quarantine for 14 days. We don't have to track that through the health department. This is something people should just be able to do on their own. They should be able to monitor if they have a fever or develop any symptoms and then notify the health department if they would. So Massachusetts and Rhode Island were two that were added yesterday. Connecticut, Louisiana, Colorado, Illinois, New Jersey, and New York. And they have the counties still listed in Colorado, but the entire state of Colorado is on there. If you come back from a cruise ship or any international travel, those all remain. Let's see here. The ones that were removed, there's 3 states removed. California was removed, Florida, and Washington. So those
Were
are
removed.
were removed. So people coming back from California, Florida, or Washington do not have to quarantine for 14 days. But I will also just say that the state guidelines have changed. We used to have to require, to be able to do testing and send it to the state, they had to have the fever. Now that requirement is just to have 2 of any of the symptoms of COVID-19, and there's a pretty lengthy list. And fever does not have to be 1. So anybody that has 2 of the symptoms, it could be fever, cough, sore throat, headache, fatigue, achiness, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, even just changes in smell and taste. They're seeing that a lot of people have that where things just don't taste right or smell right. So any 2 of those symptoms, call the health department and we can get people tested. So it doesn't have to include a fever. So it really, at this point, you know, regardless of where you've traveled, if you're having any kind of symptoms like that, we want to get people tested. So that was it on that. I can't think of any new real significant. We did have the new case yesterday. The person is not severely ill, so they're at home. And I've had a lot of questions about, okay, well, how many are recovered? So far, all of our cases are resolved. We had the 1 death, so out of the 8, they're all resolved except the new one from yesterday still in isolation. And of course, we've got multiple people in quarantine because there are contacts of the cases, and people have to quarantine for certain lengths of time depending on when they were last exposed to a positive person. So if somebody comes out of isolation, like say today I'm out of isolation, I'm better, I can go back out into the world and just do whatever, my people living at home with me today would be their beginning of 14 days quarantine. If you're living with someone who was positive for COVID-19, you're in quarantine the whole time they're sick. Once they're out of isolation, you have to remain in quarantine for 14 more
Oh,
days.
man.
So it ends up being, some people, I mean, because to get out of isolation, it is a minimum of 7 days from the first day you were sick, plus fever-free for 3 days without fever. So usually it's 10 days at a minimum. So you can see that if you lived with someone positive COVID-19, a good 3 weeks, and a lot of people a month in quarantine. So this is why we really have to use prudent, common sense guidelines to keep people from getting this, because this is going to be a huge burden on our, not just society and our mental health and our well-being, but economically on everyone, businesses and individuals alike. If you have to be in quarantine for a month, I mean, you can't go to work. You can't, a lot of jobs aren't going to pay you to do that. A lot of people, you know, they lose their jobs or their income. They have no vacation time or sick time. So anyway, we have still quite a few people in quarantine from these last 2 cases. Not a ton, probably around 30, which isn't too bad. So the other thing I just wanted to request is if next Friday we could have a 9 a.m. planning meeting, just to kind of evaluate how we're doing. You know, I guess we could move that up if we needed to. I think Tuesday might be a little early, just because all of this is really only going to start happening Monday, where things are opening up. And then I'll have a chance over the next week to read phase 2 of the governor's plan thoroughly. And if things go well, you know, we don't have any new cases, things on those few little additional things we had, maybe we can hopefully drop some of those off and loosen a few more things. And does that sound good?
Yeah.
9 o'clock
Yeah.
next Friday? I think an hour is long enough. Will you guys put that on the website, Dawn, so people know and that they can email questions and watch? The other thing I had, and it's okay if you guys think it's kind of out there, but this is just something I thought that might be nice. I know that I know Pittsburgh and Girard they've done some T-shirts and they did some masks that say Pittsburgh Strong and Girard Strong. But I really want people to look at us as a county and that we're united as a county. So I didn't know if we could come up with something. I am not a graphic design artist, so this is a very rough sample of what I think would be nice, maybe to have T-shirts or something. And if we could charge for them, I don't know if there's somebody in the community that's watching on YouTube right now that could get us a low cost on maybe some T-shirts, and then any proceeds we would make, maybe we could donate back to, I don't know what. I'm sure there's needs out in the community of some sort. I don't know if that would be local businesses or people who had to stay home because of quarantine, or just food donations or something. But I just thought it would be nice to have something like on the back of a T-shirt. Maybe this could be on the front over here, and then also on the back, and then Crawford County United Against COVID-19, and maybe like each town, each municipality. I don't know, I don't want to leave anybody out, so that's why I'm not sure what all we would need on here.
Okay.
But maybe like, of course, not like this, but in different areas, like in Hearts or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking it would be nice to unite as a county with all of the cities, because they're all doing a really good job. All the cities are. And if somebody here, does anybody here do anything like this? Do we have anybody that does anything like this?
Not necessarily. in the
Is it
county.
okay with you guys if I just try to find somebody that could help
It's
us
fine,
do
yeah.
this? Okay.
I'd give you a few names of people I know, but.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to do something just unilaterally and.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, if we do it as a fundraiser.
I'd
what are
like
your
to. I mean,
thoughts?
if we could get T-shirts for less than $10, that would be nice, so that you could sell them a little for maybe $5 more than they cost to produce, and then you would have some sort of,
I wouldn't think that'd be a problem at all.
and then, you know, have some sort of way to sell them to the community. That way we could have some sort of fund if, I don't know, if people need things or.
Right.
Well, I think, this is just my thoughts, the independent business owners that are not opening because of the governor's orders would be a good point, good place.
Yeah, I mean,
And I don't know if that
really,
looks like how much you could raise, but
my heart goes out to those
Yeah.
people, because I can't imagine, you know, how hard it is for people, especially like salons and things. They just don't have any way to make any
Right.
money right now. So, and I've gotten phone calls, I mean, just pleading with me, and I don't have a lot of control over more than what we've already done. So
well,
I
there's
just-
some right here that there is no repurposing to
Well,
fix.
no, there's not.
And then there's some that, yeah, you could probably get creative and make it go of it. But the nail salons, barbershops, hairs, I have no idea.
How could you
There's-
do that?
there's nothing
Right,
they
so
can do.
I don't know, and I don't know, maybe we'll make $10, I don't know, maybe we'll make 1,000, I don't
Right.
know. But I just think it'd be nice to have something from the county, because, you know, we are all united and we care about our people, so. Okay, well, if you have any ideas on graphic
Yep.
designers, I can also check with like Pitt State, and I'll see if I can just find somebody who do a pro bono type thing for us. And then I'll just bring it back as soon as I get it, I'll bring it back to a meeting. I think that was all I had. I think. Let me look at my notes real quick. Yeah, I think that's it.
And I guess the other thing is just to add, there is no set timeline.
Right.
Just to clarify that right now, it's,
Yeah,
until this changes from the governor,
yeah.
we don't know when that's gonna happen
Yes.
and what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and I
really
have had a lot of
information.
questions, you know, you guys put yours out before the governor's. Well, we really didn't put any official plan out. It was a draft, so it's
Right.
important to remember, but you can never over-plan, I mean, for this kind of thing. So it's always good to give people, to get people start thinking. And that's why I think if we start planning next week, at the end of next week, for what's gonna happen in the next phase,
Yeah.
whether it happens on that timeline every 2 weeks, it's set out to happen every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do I think it will? Probably not. I mean, there's so much that could change, but yeah, it's just having that plan ready, then that saved us a lot of time, I think, this morning, because we didn't have to
Sure.
just come up with something out of the
Yes.
blue and think, you know, well, what do we want to do? And, you know, we already
No,
had
I agree.
ideas.
We
Yeah,
had it.
but I agree with you that, yeah, I think
Just people
people
don't
need to
ask, is it till
remember.
this 2 weeks?
Yeah,
No.
it's not set, and that's just because the governor's is not set.
Exactly.
It's open-ended, but it's hoped by the state too that it's every 2 weeks that we can progress. And that's, the plan is, the state plan is up on the website, so people can look at that. Just remember though, it's flexible, it may not happen in that time frame. But I hope it does, I would love that. And then by, what was it, June 15th, everything would go back to normal. That'd be great.
I wonder if you think it'd be a good idea to also put the copy of the governor's order?
Yes, I emailed that to Brandon already. The whole plan from the state, the governor's order, and then we'll put our signed order up there. So I think that'd be good, and then people can call. I've called a few people, you know, and that have had questions on Facebooks and things, and I've just said, you know, just call the health department. I will call people back. It may take me a little bit, but I will call them back. So, okay?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to, I guess we can do new business first. Dawn?
Well, it just made me think, do we need to make some kind of announcement about the courthouse?
Yeah,
You know, put something out maybe on our website?
Yes,
as
for
well,
sure.
and
Probably be a good
try to
idea.
get the
they're gonna make signs, change the signs, and we need to definitely post on that.
Paper informed and kind of let them know that they'll be, you know, allowed in the courthouse, you know, while they observe social distancing measures and, you know, but probably need to say something about motor vehicle office not being
Okay.
open in the judicial center, but there'll be a place for them to drop off, you know, tax payments and things like that at the judicial center.
Yeah, so the work session, we determined that the courthouse will be open from 8 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. You will be screened upon entering the courthouse. They'll ask you where your potential business is, so we can keep track of where people are going. And there may be a one-in, one-out policy if we get just bombarded with a bunch of people. Motor vehicle right now will not be open. The tag office won't be open at the judicial center. GIS may meet clients over here if needed, but spacing, chairs will be spaced 6 foot apart, cleaned, and each business or each office will allow one customer per employee. I don't know how you want to say that during this time.
One-on-one.
And if it gets crazy, we may have to have people wait in their vehicles so they don't congregate outside if we have to restrict access. But I'm hoping people just kind of gradually come in and don't storm the gates Monday. So,
Right.
is that what you're talking about, Don?
Yeah, try to get something out
Yep.
to the press this afternoon, or.
Yeah, hopefully the paper runs with it.
Put it on, also on the website. I'll have maybe talk with Joe and Jim about that. Make sure we're not missing anything.
Yep.
On that.
And I will have a staff member for the first week come over and take temperature.
Yes, we appreciate
For the
that.
first week, and then we'll see.
And then we'll see how, what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Don?
Well, I was talking to Danny there, that would maybe need to include some stuff about the sheriff's.
I've already
Oh,
talked to Joe a little bit
okay.
on some of their details, so what I had planned in, I was gonna either do a video on Facebook or put something on Facebook. I talked to Joe. I'm trying to tie Joe's business with the VINs, so I'm actually gonna put something on there about the tag office and what they're doing and what we're doing at the sheriff's office starting Monday. So I'll kind of talk to the details with Joe on that in terms of trying to put the right information out regarding that they'll have limited access here. For people that wasn't here or didn't the morning session, we'll be doing a drive-through VIN inspection Monday. We're going to do 8 to 3, so 3 will be the latest that we'll do a VIN. That way you have time to come over here and get your tag work done, because they're here till 3:30. So that'll be the last time from an 8 to 3 is what we'll do VINs. It'll be a drive-through VIN. We're going to ask people to stay in their vehicles unless they're asked to get out for some reason. If we have to check the VIN number on a door or something like that, we will we'll have signage at the sheriff's office to guide you all the way around. We're actually going to run it. It's supposed to be a chance of rain next week, so we're actually going to run it through our Sallyport, the reverse. So that way we won't have any traffic congestion on Enterprise Drive. That'll actually be in our back parking lot.
Okay.
So we will have that all set up Monday morning, and at some point in time between today and Sunday, I'll get a video out or something and get those details out there. I think the important thing that we just talked about a while ago was, from my understanding, was May 18th has been the extension on the state of emergency, is what we just talked about with Joe, in terms of they have 60 days after the state of emergency is over to get their tags and stuff, renewals done. That's for all that. So,
That's if it's not extended.
yeah, if it's not, so it's tentatively, it's May 18th. So the 60 days doesn't start till after the state of disaster emergency is over for regarding Kansas. So, you know, but people want to get their tags done. They want to get it done. They want to get their VINs done and all that. So I think we're going to be able to accommodate that starting Monday. We just don't know what we're looking at in terms of just getting slammed with traffic and stuff like that. So we have it set up with extra personnel to do VINs. Like I said, but we're going to try to maintain social distancing. We're going to try to do a drive-through so we're not out in the rain. And I think we'll be able to get that accommodated. The sign department, Dale's got us taken care of there for signage. And I think between the cones and that, we'll be able to guide everybody there. We will have a section for trailers and big trucks, because we don't want them coming through the Sallyport in that area. So we'll actually have an area off to the side for our east building. I think we've thought of everything, but it's pretty fluid with everything we're doing with this. But we'll get that out in terms of trying to tie Joe's tags and the VINs together in terms of that. So I don't know. We'll just go from there and see what happens. We'll do that for a week, and then we'll just kind of play it by ear and see what happens. But I am going to keep my lobby closed. I'm not offering any other services. We're not going to, we'll do fingerprints for the nurses and medical if 'cause I know there's people doing that. But I still don't want to open up our lobby, and I still want to keep our exposures limited to our facility. So we're going to just continue with the VINs, and we're going to do a soft opening like everybody else is kind of looking at doing.
Dan, I had a question on fingerprinting. So for child care licensing providers, if they want to open a daycare, would they be able to make an appointment to be fingerprinted?
We could probably make something happen if that's something that they're trying.
We
I
get a
mean,
lot
that's
of questions about that.
yeah. I mean, if it's something that they can, that they're waiting to get, because I know we have teachers and stuff that want to get their. So if it, I think we got plenty of time for that still.
Okay.
But if it's something where
You
it's,
just have them call.
Yes, if it's something where it's just, you know, imperative that they get it done now, we'll do it by appointment only. But right now, we're just kind of trying to stick with the nurses and those that are in the
Sure.
medical field that have, some are trying to come back out of retirement and stuff like that to do that. But we can definitely accommodate that. But anything else, we have it set up like we always have right now in terms of our foyers, kind of our small lobby right now, and there's a phone that they can actually call and state their business. But we're going to try to guide. I'm hoping the signage will work, but in the end, I may have to put somebody out there to guide them down the signage, but I don't know. We might end up some at Heartland or something instead of our thing, but I think we've got it covered, so we'll see.
Okay,
Any other question? All right.
very good, thank you.
Thanks.
Cool.
I did notice we got a question by email about churches and
Okay.
who would be able
Sure.
to start
Okay, so it says, good morning. Now that the governor has put forth her recommendations, when we'll be able to start meeting inside our buildings? Thank you. So I'm assuming that would be like churches. So those would fall under the same guidelines that the governor put forth for any other business. And they would just follow those guidelines, 6-foot distancing, and your capacity would be to follow the 6-foot distancing.
Okay.
So.
So we talked about a little bit earlier, families could theoretically sit
Right.
together. but
Families
you're
can always
6
sit
foot-
together, just
you're
like at
6 foot apart
restaurants.
from the other family.
Right, 6 foot apart from others. You know, if people have questions on how can they do that, give me a call at the health department, and I can help them come up with a plan.
Very good.
Okay.
Dawn, anything else?
my- there's- When will the DMV office open, right? That, I think they're waiting to hear from the state, the DMV,
As far as,
state DMV office is not currently open, and I don't think they know when it will be.
right, yeah, that's still closed, so.
Hey, Don, I talked to Joe a little bit about that a while ago too. We've received phone calls regarding that also, and if you call down there, it just basically says, get on their Facebook for updates. I think it won't, you're gonna see that till May 18th probably also in terms of opening up, that it may be tentatively extended, but yeah, they're gonna be closed, and the Judicial Center will be closed also at the tag office. But yeah, the DMV, that'll be at least another 2 weeks at least, from what I understand.
So it's probably important to reiterate that people are protected from an expired license fee or issue because of the governor's state order.
Yes, we're not, yeah, we
Right.
won't be.
They're not gonna get fined, because I know before that, people weren't getting fined because of this emergency.
No,
order.
we're still not. I mean, when it comes to stuff like that where you can't renewal, we're not gonna be issuing citations
Right,
like
that's what I
that
figured.
and doing things like that, but, hopefully, like I said, they can get those going here pretty soon, but I don't know, but it's closed. I know it's closed, and I could just say that what I saw on their phone call when I called it myself, it just basically said to watch their Facebook for updates. But I don't foresee that being
And
open for
actually, it
another
was
couple
a
weeks.
governor's order that exempted that too until the state of emergency was over. I believe, wasn't it, Jim, that exempted driver's license expiration?
I believe that's true.
Yeah, it was a state order.
Yep.
from the governor.
Okay. Jim? Tom?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I had a call the other day. It was from one of our planning and zoning board members. They were confused as to if we had replaced the director down there. So it might be a good idea if we
Have her get
notify
contact.
May and have her contact her planning and zoning board and let them know of the change.
You are correct.
And that is all I have under new business.
Jeremy?
I don't think I have any new business. Other than, I guess, can we try and get a live on-air light or something to indicate that we're being recorded now that we are live streaming and
Yeah,
have
that'd
the
probably be a good
editing
idea.
capabilities?
Yeah, be a good idea.
Well,
Yeah, Brandon,
I'm
look at
not
that.
sure.
Brandon is shopping for it right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, the only thing I'd ask, I would like to, I think 10-minute executive session on non-elected personnel. three commissioners, council, discussing probationary periods. That work?
Do that at the end of the meeting?
At the end of the meeting, be fine. Okay, old business, Don,
I don't have anything, thank you.
Jim?
Just a real quick update on our census mailer. I've talked to Kyle, and it looks like we're gonna be around 16,600 or so separate addresses that will need to be mailed. So we've got a good number there that we can start building an RFP to hopefully get out next week. So,
Cool.
yeah, that was the one thing we needed to get started.
Is there a way to figure out who's filled that out so we don't double up on people that already done the census? Cross-reference, because
I don't
I'm not
know
sure.
if that's possible. I know
Okay.
that you can look at, there's data available per census tract, how many people have responded, but I don't think that you can break that down by address.
That's why I was wondering if there's ways
I don't
by
know that that's
address.
Yeah, that
publicly
That would
available.
cut it in
That
half
would
or
be
whatever,
right.
save a
It'd be
bunch of
about
money.
half the mailing.
Okay,
We
just a
can
question.
check that, but I don't believe so.
Yeah. Okay,
So that's all I had.
all right. Tom,
No, sir.
Jeremy,
I don't have any old business.
and I can't think of any right now, so make a motion to go to executive session, period of 10 minutes, non-elected personnel, three commissioners, council, topic probationary periods.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
I'll come Tuesday.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, you too. I'll be here, but Friday I'll be here early.
All right, if you need anything.
I'll let you all know.
And there's the call again today at 3:30.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
gonna be free, I'll
Yeah, I'll just be on there.
head over your way.
Sure. Okay.
Sounds good.
See you
See you
later.
then. All right, thanks, man.
Bye, guys. See you around. See you, King.
See you, Rebecca.
What's she calling you? King?
I started calling her Queens, and that's what
Yeah.
a little chilly up here.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if that's all the business, I guess we got a few announcements. So, first announcements is the courthouse will be open to the public starting Monday, May 4th, correct? Yep. May 4th from 8 to 3:30. People entering the courthouse will be required to do a screening, fill out a log, or give the information of which business they have to take care of. That may be somewhat fluid depending on how much traffic we get starting Monday. Also, there'll be a VIN inspection facilitated out at the Sheriff's Department. It should be fairly apparent how to go through the Sally Port. That will be open from 8 to 3 starting Monday through Friday as well, correct?
Yes.
On Friday, May 8th, we'll have a 9 o'clock work session, more or less a planning meeting with Rebecca, the Health Department Director, to visit about COVID-19 some more. Anything else we need to add? No? Any other business?
Mr. Chairman, if there's no further business, I'll move we adjourn.
Second.
Aye. Well, better take these governor plans.